Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T25-2, it's a Tier 7 American turreted tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Halluf and it's under the command of heavy999. Now this is a vehicle that didn't actually really exist. It's well, cobbled together from an idea that the Americans had to actually produce a medium tank. But Wargaming have put it into the game as a tank destroyer, and you can see right from the start that heavy999 is not loaded because his gun's dropped and he's still at the spawn point whilst everyone else is moving away. It's based on the T23 chassis, not the T25 chassis. Of course, the T25 is in the game as the pilot number 1, but no, this vehicle didn't actually really exist because they didn't actually make any prototypes because the T23 hull was actually cancelled. They weren't going to mass produce them, and consequently this vehicle never existed. You might notice that the turret of this vehicle is actually an M36 turret. It's got the 90mm gun, which is capable of 240 alpha, and with standard AP it's capable of doing 240 alpha, 170mm of standard armour with standard AP, and with the premium rounds it'll do 258. Okay, he's in battle now, and in fact it's a good job he has moved because the enemy tanks just tried to come across the valley and the SU-130PM got a shot in. He's now going to try and see if he can put around into some of the other enemy tanks, specifically that T-54 first prototype who's making his way up the channel. It's being blocked by a Star 2 at the moment. Can he get a shot? Quite nice if he could. Oh, he's gone. Good. Okay, so that's out of the equation. And he's decided to move down into the valley. Well, this vehicle does have some speed. 56 kilometers an hour, 15 in reverse. It is actually quite a heavy tank in all, by all rights. It's 45 tons in the game. And in fact, actually, the real version that they were intending to build would have been quite a heavy medium tank. I keep saying it's a medium tank because basically what they were interested in building was the T23E3, and the reason they needed this was they needed tanks with 90mm guns so they could attack the enemy Tigers. Good shot into the Char Future, 4 for 270, a high roll, but he was spotted. And he might get some return fire now. Yes, he did. The Char Future decided, I didn't want to get hit, and tried to fire one back, but I think he's shrouded himself now amongst those bushes. No, he hasn't. He's still being spotted. Somebody up the that end, the Revolution probably, who's spotting him and allowing the enemy to get shots on him. So now he's down to just 92 hit points left. But he can still make an effective battle with only 92. Let's see if you can get one of those guys up there. The Charioteer hits him. Be quite nice if you could hit some of the tanks who actually hit him during that game. Tiger 2's around the other side of the building, so he can't get that guy. He's risking getting detected again by going into here, but let's see what happens. That Revolution keeps popping out to have a look. In fact, actually, the Revolution has now been replaced by a T25 AT on the enemy team, which of course is the solid version. The other Tier 7 American tank destroyer with a casemate, not with the turret. And of course, that one carries the 105mm gun. This tank can't carry that 105mm, which is rather unfortunate. Now it does have a singular lack of armour, which is why the weight's only down at 48 tons per load. 45 tons, sorry. If it did have much more solid armour, it would be more difficult to move about as well. He tracked that Malshan, and he got a solid hit through the side. Guy was turning his turret this way and he lost sight of him, so he's just continuing to shoot, and I think he is hitting the target. Tortoise, long range. And he killed the Malshan with a blind shot. The Malshan must have moved forward, trying to get out of cover, getting into cover, and just drove in front of the Tortoise. And the Tortoise, the shell that was meant for the Tortoise, hit the Malshan instead. Round into the rear of the Tortoise. The weak spot of a tortoise. You ever seen a tortoise in real life? They are very, very big. Huge tracks. And he's easily penetrating that guy. He is using the premium ammo though. And another one in. He's shredding that tortoise. Nope, didn't get that one. Go for it again. He could take him out this game. Oh! One more shot and he's got him. Tortoise can't do anything about it, and he's gone. Okay, there's the T25 AT, and one round from that guy would finish off Heavy. So he's taking a risk, but I think the T25 AT is more concerned about Arty and Star 2, who are getting very, very close to him. And I don't think he's going to expect somebody to be coming up behind him. And if he does turn to deal with Heavy, he's actually going to receive rounds from his teammates. Oh, lovely shot right into his rear, and he's taken out by our teammates. So the enemy are being routed at the moment because there's only 4 of them left. They've only killed 4 of our team. We've got a T43, which is a Soviet medium. There he is. One round into him, pulls back before he can return fire. Now they've only got 3 left. That T43, you're not going to get a shot on him. We've got an ISU 152K, which is the premium version of the ISU 152. He can do 750 alpha. He's pointing at our teammates, trying to get a shot in, but it was the wrong angle. And he is now looking in our direction, so we go for the Charioteer instead. Yes, nice pen, 225. He's come out now, so we can get a good shot on him. Yes, nice pen, 243, high roll. Go for another. Good shot, yes! And that ends the game. So a decent amount of damage. 2,861 showing. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the first ace tanker game for heavy999 in the T25-2. You can tell it's the first ace tanker he's had because he's got the scrolls underneath. You only get that the first time. He also got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. A Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, as well as the tanker sniper for doing the most damage at a distance of at least 300 meters. Firing at least 8 shots and getting 85% accuracy, and most of those shots were fired at the Malshan and the Tortoise. His win rate for the battle was 6,819, and it helped a lot that he was firing at tier 9 enemy tanks and doing severe damage to them. That's what pumped up his win rate. When it came to damage, he actually did do the highest damage on his team, but not the highest damage in the game. The Tortoise did that. 3,391 hit points of damage went to him. 3,058. Only showing 2,800 on the at the end of the game. But the reason he did a bit more was mainly because he was firing at a few long range, and of course he couldn't see the shot that went into the Malshan and killed him. Because, of course, he was unspotted at the time. If we look at the next highest score of that was the Charfuture 4 on his own team with 3,008 hit points. And those are the only guys who actually managed to get over 3,000 damage. When it came to kills, it was the Charfuture 4 did the best with 5 kills. Well, he does have an auto-loader, which makes it a lot easier to pump the shells in and get the kills. 2 kills went to Heavy, and also to the VK4502B, who also picked up a steel wall in that game. When it came to base XP, it was the Charfuture who did the best with 1,189, 1,180, so only 9 experience points in it for Heavy999, and 929 went to the Prima Victoria. When it came to shots, he fired 19, got 17 direct hits and 14 penetrations. 3,058 hit points of damage, of which 2,088 were at more than 300 meters. You can see those were most of the shots that he was firing at the Tortoise and the Martian. 3 hits received, 2 penetrations, 1 non-penetrations. Well, that shot was the penetrations were from the Charioteer and the Charfu Chu 4, who obviously, the moment he was spotted, thought, tasty meal, I'll have that. And it was only the fact that he managed to dive down amongst the bushes which stopped him from being shredded. And luckily he did disappear after taking 2 penetrating shots and 1 non-penetration. He also blocked damage of 390 hit points, so one of those guys fired a 122mm round at him. 2 enemy vehicles were spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and 1,162 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 44,364 credits, but he did fire a large amount of premium rounds in that game. Well, he was firing at distance and he was firing at tier 9 opponents, so he needed the premium ammo, otherwise he would have found it difficult to try and penetrate through. In fact, he did fire a standard round and it didn't pen on the Tortoise, so that's why he switched to the premium rounds and it worked. But he did end up with a loss for the battle of 35,779 credits. Well, I suppose the fact is he did get the ace tanker. Actually, it's not 79, it's 70. My eyesight is dreadful. 1,770 XP for the game, times 2 for the first victory, took away 3,540 experience points altogether. So the T25-2, it plays very much like the Jackson, the M36 Jackson, the tier 6 American tank destroyer. I think a lot of people find that it's a very tough grind because, of course, you have to work your way up from stock. It's slow, sluggish, and it's vulnerable because, of course, it's got no armor really as such. But once they get up to the higher levels, it becomes a bit more fun because, of course, it's turreted, which means you can take advantage. It does have good gun depression, it's great on ridge lines, and that 90mm gun, well, wish that it had the 105mm, but it is basically just an M36 Jackson turret, so you just have to make do with what you've got. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.